a lot of men out here want to marry a traditional woman. They don't want the modern woman. And some of them, their reason is the modern woman is not feminine.
Are they masculine?
So they want a traditional woman, but they fantasize about a modern woman.
You want the traditional woman for your own selfish desire.
Correct.
Oh, so
You don't want the traditional woman for what the actual value of a traditional woman. You don't even understand what that means. You just want someone to serve you because you think you deserve it for whatever reason you think that you do.
This is Diaspora Moments by Dion London.
hi everyone. Welcome to the Diaspora Moment podcast. Once again, today is for the ladies. And you already know I have the right ladies for you here today. Now, I have a question for you guys. You guys ready?
We're ready.
Ready?
You sure?
Yes.
Okay. Before I do that, I would like you guys to introduce yourself first. Before I ask my question, I'm going to start with you.
So I am Akosia, and I came all the way from Lexington, Kentucky to be here with you.
Yay! Kentucky in the building. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yay! And where you from?
Originally from Ghana.
Yes, one for Ghana today. And then we have...
Hello, everybody. My name is Ade Shola, formerly known as Shola.
Yes.
I'm originally from Nigeria. Shout out to Nigeria.
Yay! Nigeria in the building.
Yes.
Okay. So now, ladies, I have a question.
Okay.
What is the strangest thing you believed as a child? And I'm going to start with you, Shola. The strangest thing you believed as a child. Maybe your mom.
In what aspect? Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
African parents always lie to us when we're kids. Like, is there anything strange you believe?
That's a yeah.
Strangest thing you believed?
Can we narrow it down? Like strange in what aspect?
It can be anything.
Anything.
Yeah. That you believed as a child.
I don't think I believed anything strange. I could be. I don't know. Wait, come back to me. Come back to me. Come back to me. Come back to me. Come back to me.
Well, Shola, you're throwing it to me, and now thinking is really hard because I was a very precocious child.
Right.
And they always called me in Ghanaian language in Peninsula.
Oh.
Okay.
So let me see. This is a tough one.
It is. It's tough.
It's very tough. Because I'm
mean-
thinking strange. Like, what would be strange? Yeah, that's a tough one for me. I don't think I have one.
You know, back in Africa, right? In churches, we used to have Sunday school. Like your mom will take you to church.
Yeah.
But then when you get to church, then the kids have their own place that they have to go.
Yeah.
So in Ghana, for instance, we call that like Sunday school for kids. And you know how some of the things that we learn in school. And one of the things that they always say that like everything that we do as kids or even growing up is a sin, right? Everything that you do is a sin.
Yeah,
right? So, you're not go to heaven if I hit, like my friend, if I hit you, I won't go to heaven.
Oh, I have one now then.
If
that's what we're
I mean, isn't that weird?
Yes.
Like, so you
Yes.
grow.
You just brought some
Same for me too.
Right.
Yes.
So growing up, like you are so scared, right?
Yeah.
You are so scared to even steal the fish in your mom's soup.
Right.
You know very well that this fish, I really want to eat it, but then the Sunday school teacher is telling me that if I steal
You're going to
one
hell.
piece of small little piece of chicken from my mom's soup,
You're
I'm
going to hell.
I grew up getting scared of stealing.
I have a similar story.
Okay.
But this one is, honestly speaking, I don't believe it at all. But I'm still trying to figure out where this doctrine came from, right? So, and it's crazy because my mom actually believed it and walked it, like practiced it for a little while until, and she tried to push it on me. I said, don't do that. But long story short, it was this whole idea that as a Christian woman, if you wear skirts or jewelry, then you go to hell. And there was this woman, I don't know if I want to use the word woman of God very loosely, right? Or lightly. She pretty much gave a whole story of how she had like an afterlife experience, how she was here as a man before she came back as a woman, but when she died as a man, she got to experience the whole judgment day. And during that whole judgment day, there was a line of people who on earth, they either wore jewelry or they were wearing skirts.
Right.
And so for a little while, my mom actually believed it. And in the house, she would never wear pants. And then she tried to push it. I said, please, my peace is very important to me. We don't have time for that. But I would say that's probably one of the weirdest things that I've ever experienced or heard.
Right.
Yeah, growing up.
Isn't that weird?
Very weird. And it's crazy because I think unless you have like a relation, like a deeper understanding of who God is, it's very easy to be sucked into just weird stuff.
Right.
Like, but yeah.
But, you know, with so many doctrines out here now.
Yeah.
Akasha, what about you?
So one of the strangest things, like, you know, when you're growing up and you start getting to puberty and all of that, they make you feel like if you talk to a boy, you get pregnant.
Oh, yeah.
So when she said that, I mean, that's one of the things that came into my mind. Like not knowing that there has to be an actual sexual act first.
Exactly.
So like just to deter you, they made you so scared that as soon as you reach puberty and you get to your menstrual cycle, it's like if you talk to boys, so you start shying away from male relationships because you're scared that you'll talk to a boy and get
right.
So that's one of the strangest things. And then as you guys were talking, one thing that came into my mind is like the older people, like, to prevent noise, didn't allow fufu pounding after a certain time. But then they made it seem like it was something to do with witchcraft. Or even in the dark to sweep. You can't sweep in the night because it's dark, so you can't see.
Oh, really?
But they made it related to witchcraft. So now that she said it, those were the kind of things that are...
Wow.
Yes.
That is actually very strange. I remember that.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, because I remember back in Africa, like, you can sweep at a certain time.
Wow.
Like, they were, like, automatically, like, they really converted that into, like, witchcraft right there. Yeah.
I mean, do you feel like it could have been real just a little bit?
No, I just think that it was because it was, you know, that there wasn't, you have light inside your house, but outside there's no light. So what are you going to see to sweep?
Yeah.
So I think it's just about, if you do it, you're not going to do it right.
Okay.
But then I think it all stems from our culture of fear, putting fear in people.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, because I just felt like they just do anything and say anything just to put fear in people.
Yeah, 100%. But then it's like we are from Africa, so witchcraft is you know.
Do you believe in witchcraft?
Yes,
You do?
100%. What? I'm from Nigeria. Come on now. Hey,
I was like, you believe in witchcraft?
So I think that witchcraft exists.
Yeah.
But I mean,
But have you seen one?
well, if I was a witch, I'll know what they look like. I guess that maybe I've just put it in a compartment in my mind that, you know, what you believe is what you...
Right.
So, yes, I do respect that they exist, and I'm not going to tempt anybody.
Yeah.
Let sleeping dogs lie. That's where I'm coming from. But so I'll just try and do the right thing, so I don't fall on somebody's bad side. So they have to go and try and put me take me to some witch doctor.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I may have to retaliate with prayers or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that is very fun. So now, back to today's topic. So today we're going to talk about a traditional woman versus a modern woman. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And, you know, I really like this particular topic so much. And the reason why I do is a lot of men out here or they want to marry a traditional woman. They don't want the modern woman. And some of them, their reason is the modern woman is not feminine.
Are they masculine? Sorry. Like,
That's a lot you just said there.
Right.
Yeah. You know, the guys are saying that modern women are not submissive. They are not feminine enough. You know, they like to take over everything. They don't want a man to lead them. Because, you know, in society, a modern woman is a man. I mean, it's a woman who they have their career going on.
yeah.
You know, they are boss ladies, boss chicks, well-educated women. They will not take no bullshit from any man. Okay, you know, And some modern women don't want to cook and clean. Why do I have to do that, right? So the men are also saying that, and some of these modern women also wants to marry traditional men.
Okay, so they want a traditional woman, but they fantasize about a modern woman.
Ooh, ooh. Why is that so? Like, you want to marry the traditional woman, but
they
you want to fantasize the modern.
But they fantasize about a modern woman because, I mean, let's just break it down here.
We're talking about the men, right?
Yes, we're
men.
talking about the men. They want the traditional woman. However, they're coming out to cheat with a modern woman.
That, for me, this is my stance. Whenever we talk about men and women, I'm always neutral in the sense of both parties. Like, if you know me, you know I say it's get square for it. Everybody gets something in the end, right? But when we think about men, especially in this generation that talk about wanting the traditional woman, you want the traditional woman for your own selfish desire.
Correct.
So
You don't want the traditional woman for what the actual value of a traditional woman.
True.
You don't even understand what that means. You just want someone to serve you because you think you deserve it for whatever reason you think that you do, right? But like, I forgot her name. Akosia.
Yeah.
Did I say it right?
yes, you did.
Or you can just say Akos.
Akos. Okay,
Yeah.
beautiful. So as Akos has said, right, they fantasize though about the modern woman, or they cheat on the traditional woman for them, because at the end of the day, what you truly desire will always come out. You can't hide it for too long.
Yes.
So
So are you saying that some of these men over here are faking? They're lying. They're lying to themselves.
1000%.
Like they like the modern women, but they just want the traditional woman.
It's almost
to
like having your cake and eating it too. If I can have the traditional at home doing what I want her to do, when I tell her to get up, she gets up. When I tell her
Yes.
to sit down, she sits down. And then I can go outside and have fun
Yeah.
with 10 of the moderns. Why not?
But then if that is the case, then they should just go ahead and marry the modern women.
But they can't. Image means a lot too. Image for a man means a very big thing, because a lot of modern, and I'm not saying all, because some women are considered modern and they are, they're
They're
not
both traditional modern. I call them
Yeah.
the hybrid women.
Yeah. And I would say, so with the modern women, I guess we're talking about individuals who are in the professional realm, right? They're making their own money, they're independent, right? If you're thinking from that point of view of a selfish man, you can't get what you want with that.
That's correct. So I feel like many times you just said it, they want to have their cake and eat it. So they want to have a modern woman who's a career woman who's
Yeah.
working and all of that, and they still want you to be a traditional woman.
Okay.
It doesn't work that way, because we're both working and we both come home tired. The modern woman will still show respect, but with the hard work going on, there should be some balance where you're getting help from the man, but he wants to play that role like I'm a man. And many times there's a lot of intimidation sometimes, not with all men.
Some of them are intimidated.
Because some of the modern women are in higher careers than their husbands. So they're bringing in more money than their husbands. But many times what those men don't understand is that the fact that the woman brings in more money doesn't mean that she doesn't respect you.
But can we be fair though? And this is me being 100% honest. There are some modern women that do make more than their husbands that are very disrespectful.
I do agree to that.
Ooh.
Yes,
Okay.
very, very much disrespectful. And I personally don't agree with that. I think that maybe it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was privileged to have spoken at a youth event, and
Okay.
this topic had came up about just marriage and whether the man makes more or not. And I had used my blood sister as an example, right? As a woman that is a good example of someone who, because of circumstances, was making more than her husband, but never ever disrespected him, his position, the finances. At the end of the day, from beginning till today, it was always a language of we, if that makes sense. So I think that if you are a modern, I don't even know if to put a modern woman, let's just say a woman that makes more than her husband. There's no reason why you should ever disrespect him. Because you guys are married for a reason. You have become one. There is no separation. But some women don't know how to do that.
So that's when we come to the topic about the institution of marriage itself. So the institution of marriage has, for some reason, lost some of its value.
Yes.
Because marriage should be based on respect.
100%.
What a woman should do is to respect their husband, and a husband love your woman. It's a partnership. So in that partnership, there shouldn't be one above the other. The man should be the head of the family. But like you just pointed out, if in a situation where the woman is making more money than the husband, there should be no disrespect, but there should be a partnership where you can support. Because at the end of the day, if we marry to become one, if I go out, nobody should be able to tell that this car that you're driving was bought with my money. It was bought with our money.
Yes.
So maybe when we come to the topic about talking about modern and traditional women, we should define marriage more and then go back to the roots of what are the values in the marriage. Why are we getting married? To build a family together. If you're Christian in a Christ-like way, whichever religion or whichever tradition, but it's always to move forward and work as partners to move forward. But whenever there's what she just said, the selfish part of, and that's human nature.
100%.
So we can't control that when it comes to that, because a man can be selfish, a woman can be selfish.
Right.
Even some women that talk about, I guess the modern ones that talk about not wanting to cook or clean anything.
Yeah.
The way I see it is,
They want to be like Cardi B. They don't want to cook. They don't want to clean, but they want the ring.
but even her, didn't you see her husband had posted a video of her cleaning?
He said
she cleans too. But for me, the way I see it is, as a human being, these are traits that each of us should have. You should. I don't know why you wouldn't want to clean with or without a husband.
Correct.
I don't know why you wouldn't want to cook with or without a husband.
I know some people, they don't want to cook or clean.
And that's why I always communicate it as a thing that should be fixed generally, not because you are a wife or because you are a husband. If I, even with my own brother, or by God's grace, when I have my own kids, both genders, it's not the woman does this and the man does this, because I want my boys and my girls to both be clean. I want my boys and my girls to both know how to cook, because what if mommy and daddy are not there?
Yes.
Are you going to know how to fend for yourself? What if, God forbid, I don't know if you know the Jennifer Hudson, how she lost all of her family members. God forbid you are a child or a son that experiences the same thing. You don't know how to cook. What are you going to do? Order food every day? And let's be honest with ourselves, financially and your health. And Uber Eats. It's not feasible long term, if that makes sense. So for me, it's a thing that everybody should acquire for yourself, for your own development. Now, when it comes into the home, we're talking about partnership. To be honest, I don't even think there should be, I mean, naturally speaking, because we're in 2024, there's modern everything. Right? I think for me, it's just what is wise and what is foolish. In the home, we are one. What does it matter if responsibilities are separated? At the end of the day, this is something that needs to be done, right or wrong.
But friend, let's define the role of a traditional wife, right? What is the role? What exactly do men want from a traditional?
Submission, right?
They want the woman to be submissive?
A wife should be submissive regardless of if you're a modern
yeah.
or a traditional woman.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, let me ask, what are you defining as a traditional woman? A woman who's not working and is stay at home? A stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
If you call a traditional woman a woman who's not working and is a stay-at-home mom, then yes, she would cook and clean.
Mm-hmm.
But even with that, I also still think that those chores are very difficult chores to do, and to raise kids, it's not an easy chore.
No,
and it also can affect their mental well-being as well.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there should be that balance. But I want to go back to something that Shola touched on when she talked about individuals, like if you have a boy and a girl, you raise them right and all of that. So as we're sitting here, we all have African backgrounds. And I can safely say here, and I think that you all would agree, that African women, we are also part of this problem Why do I say that? If you have a girl child and a boy child at home, your mom will tell you, the girl, go and clean, go and that.
Yeah, go to the kitchen, go cook.
Why don't they tell the boys to also
play
go
outside?
Exactly. So so all of that starts from a very tender age, where that expectation has been set. And I feel like it's a mindset thing. It's not truly about even like traditional or that. It's all about a mindset where growing up that way, boys have been taught that they don't have to do anything. So they go into a marriage and a woman expects them to do something, and it kind of gets difficult. But if you marry a man, or if you meet my late husband, he was there are two brothers, so they had to do everything. So he knew how to cook, and so he we didn't have a problem like that you're a woman and you do this and you do that. But typically it's when the child has grown up in a certain way, turning that clock back can also be difficult.
100%.
So why don't we just change it from now and educate more on raising kids to be individuals, rather than raising, yes, we still have to teach a boy different things and a girl different things, but the basic general life things, that, like you said, cooking, cleaning and all of that, it should be part of your development.
Right.
Yeah.
So you said something about, marriage from the foundation, where both the man and the woman brings, money together, and it becomes our money instead of your money, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But like in this day and age, a lot of men out there wants traditional wife, but then they want to split everything 50-50.
How do you have a traditional wife and split 50-50 with her? If you want to play the role of a traditional man, if you want a traditional marriage, then you have to play the role of a traditional man. Traditional men take care of everything.
Right.
You can't have your cake and eat it.
I think let's just to even just answer that question on its own, it just goes back to what we originally said: selfish people. Because that's just what it is, right? You're selfish. But I think realistically speaking, again, we're talking about 2024. If you're even comparing, for example, the cost of living back then, how much people were getting paid back then, expenses as a whole compared to 2024, it's almost unfair to even ask a man or a woman to do everything financially.
That's true.
You do have some men that, thank God for you guys, y'all have more than enough money to take care of 10 families, right? But statistically speaking, it's very, very few, right? Majority of people, male and female, I don't even think a lot of people are even making up to 60 to 70K a year, right? So in our day and age, it is more realistic and just common sense to have a household that bills are separated, right? It shouldn't be a matter of modern or traditional, just common sense.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I mean, but even with the bill separation and all of that, it should be in a common fund. So I'm not even saying that a woman shouldn't have their own money or the man shouldn't have their own money, but they can have a common fund where money's taken out of there to take care of things for the house, the kids, and things like that. Because a man has his needs, a woman has their needs, where you want to go ahead and it's when you feel like you don't have access to money, you don't feel like you have power.
Yeah.
So it's like you're taking their power away, and then that takes self-esteem. It works on their self-esteem and everything.
Yeah.
So everybody should have that,
Yeah.
and we should encourage each other to build that up.
100%. And I think just the idea of two is better than one,
Right.
in anything that you do.
Yes.
Financially speaking, two incomes can double faster than one.
Right.
And this is just me also being empathetic to men. I know that we do have a lot of men that want to go the traditional route and take care of everything. But I just feel like if you are not a man that fits in the bracket of the millionaires and billionaires, I'm empathetic to those men because they do want to carry that tradition. But financially speaking, it's a burden.
It is.
And I know, personally speaking, some men, some married, some just dating, that have that mindset, and it's a beautiful mindset, but what do you have to do to maintain it? You're barely home. You're working all the time. You're family does not see you, you don't even see you. Because when you get the time to rest, you're sleeping, then you get up and you go back to work. So I'm saying I feel empathetic or sympathy for men like that, because at the end of the day, I feel like this idea of even the traditional man or the traditional woman in some way, shape or form has to stay back there.
Right.
Yes.
Let's work with what we have in 2024. Realistically speaking, what is going on in our day and age, and what can we do to make it a good life for both men and women? I feel like it's too much pressure to put that on a man, again, unless he's a billionaire. And it's too much pressure to put that on a woman, because to be very honest, taking care of kids nowadays too, because if you even think about traditionally back then, we had community.
Yes.
Grandma, mom, great grandmother,
We don't have that
sister.
anymore.
You don't
No,
have that
we don't.
anymore.
No.
Then you also have to worry about a daycare system that probably will abuse your child. So where are you going to put that child?
And that's too expensive as well.
It is.
And it's $1,000 a week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and
No,
that's
that
even
is
pretty cheap. Exactly.
That's cheap. That's cheap. I know someone paying $2,000 a week.
Oh,
So like
man.
you talked about something that was very interesting. You
Yeah.
know what you said? You said 2 is better than 1.
Yes.
But let me go ahead and say that 2 is better than 1 when 2 have the same common goal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Because a lot of marriages here are not in partnership, but they are rivals. That should compete
that's
with
a
each
good
other.
one. Yeah.
Yes. So two is always better than 1. But let's and I like let's separate the traditional and the modern woman. Let's come back to the marriage thing as 2 people having a common goal to move forward.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if it's 2 people having a common goal to move forward, there is no rivalry. So we'll work as one. Keyword communication.
Yeah.
We as Africans don't communicate what we. Women are always thinking that I'll do this and he'll think, but men cannot read your mind. Say it so he knows.
Right. I think the reason why there's this conversation really ramping up on social media is because now when you go on, like, especially on TikTok, right? You have all these girls. I don't know what we call them, the Gen Z.
Gen Z and people after them. I don't know what's going on with them.
And, they're talking about how, a man has to take care of them, take care of my bills, my traveling, my vacations,
Yep.
take care of all the bills and all of that.
And
right?
what are they bringing to the table?
Nothing.
Oh, and I have a question about that, right? And so that's the reason why the men are saying that you want me to take care of all of this, right? But you on social media,
Yeah.
twerking.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not a traditional wife. You want me to be the traditional man, right? But you are not ready to be a wife. And that is the reason why a lot of men feel like you want a traditional husband, but you're not ready to have that kind of conversation
At all.
of,
And I know I always come for men. I know I do.
yeah, you do.
But I have to come for women too.
Oh, yeah. Well, sometimes we deserve it.
Yes, and I don't like I said, I don't know if it's this Gen Z, Gen A. I don't know whichever one
it's
it
the
is.
soft
What is
life.
the alphabet now?
Soft
They
life.
don't have A now?
Yeah, there's Gen Z, then there's Gen A. I think they're Alpha or something like that. I don't even know.
Okay, hold on. So which one is the Gen A? What are they?
They are after Gen Z, so they are
What
like
age group is that?
the 10, 11-year-olds, 12.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know when Gen Z ends though, but I
keep up.
definitely
Yeah, me
agree.
neither.
Seeing all these things on TikTok, and for me, honestly speaking, it saddens me. Why? Because you just see. Yes, I know men have done. Some men, sorry, not all, have done a very terrible job, right, of being leaders. That's just the honest truth.
yeah.
But I think that women also have to take responsibility. And for me, I am a woman that believes that, yes, the man is the head, but as a head, you are also support or the neck.
Correct.
So once we saw that there was a mass problem in, let me just say, the male gender, I always say that as women, what did we do to stop that? And for me, I'm saying it from a spiritual aspect because I'm also a praying woman, right? For example, in my home, I have a brother, I have a dad, right? And, both of them get on my nerves sometimes, and it could easily be a thing of, let me just put my hands up, they're just being men. But I'm the type of sister and the type of daughter where if I can't help you physically, spiritually, we're going to find something, a solution to this.
Right.
You're not, the enemy is not getting you, and the mindset of the world is not getting you.
Right.
That's the energy that I have. And I feel like if more women came together at a point and said that there is a problem here, there is a consistency with irresponsible and or lustful men going around, right? And took a stance versus becoming the modern woman. Let me now become the highest I can in my office. Now I can do all bad by myself. I don't need a man. But then what happened? You taught the younger ones that. Then they realized that it's not sweet out here. Bills are actually high.
Right.
So now that they realized that, they flipped it to, oh no, soft life.
Yes, soft
I'm a
life.
woman. Do you see the trend? Do you see the problem and how
Everybody
it
wants soft
trickled?
life now.
Right. So for me, I think that there was a problem that started with men, but I think the solution or the approach that women took to that issue was not
Too extreme.
It was too extreme and it wasn't wise. Now we have the younger women who have seen both. Okay, men don't want to treat me right. I'm not working my butt off to pay my own bills. So I'm going to find either the married man or the billionaire so that I can live a soft life and pretty much have my cake and eat it too as well. I don't know if that makes sense.
So, and I also think that social media has contributed a lot to
big
this.
time.
So that's why. So
It's both a curse and a blessing.
Yeah.
we can flip the script.
Yeah.
And then put real stuff on social media now.
Right.
Let's flip it and let's talk about how hard you had to work to get here, so that Gen Z or Gen A or whatever you call them would know that it's not instant gratification, but you have to
100%.
work to get somewhere. We had to go to elementary school, middle school, high school, vocational school, college, whichever way you go to get somewhere. We didn't have to go and do just, it's good to be a blogger, but let that be on the side until you make it big, and then you get there. But let's start preaching the truth, because a lot of bloggers are not even preaching the truth. They know how hard it's been to get to where they've gotten to, but they make it appear so easy that you talk to a kid now, what do you want to be in future? I want to be a social media influencer.
Oh, yes.
Do you know what's so sad? Because I actually have a few clients that are between the age 13 to 16. And one thing that I realized, because I still preach the same thing, I think that there should be a group of people that are teaching the opposite of what the world is trying to preach or teach.
Right.
But the sad truth is that with these kids, or some people, because it's not even just the kids, it's adults as well, they have chosen their mindset.
Oh, yeah.
And they say they're not.
yeah.
I had a client yesterday, and her mom actually called me before her session and was just pretty much telling me, put her hands on her dad, so many crazy things. And I, spoke to her, and pretty much exactly what you were saying, just trying to pretty much feed her with the opposite, try to get her to see a different perspective. And she literally told me word for word, that's not who I am. I'm never going to be like that. I believe that, if someone provokes me, this is how I'm supposed to act, and that's how it's going to be. And it actually struck me, because I was like,
But where did she learn that from, though? From where?
and
From
it's
the
funny
house?
because when I talked to my sister about it, that's exactly what she asked. Because yes, we can talk about their generation, but their generation had somebody that was raising them.
Why?
What happened with mom? What happened with dad? And what happened before them as well that brought about this cycle?
So you
Right.
see, you can't actually also really blame mom and dad on that, because kids learn a lot from different places now. And with everything that's going on as well, life has gotten very expensive. Mom and dad are chasing to help in the home.
Yeah.
So many a times, the TV and social media has become the babysitter.
Right.
So
Right.
sometimes even mom and dad don't even know when it started to go wrong.
Yeah.
And it gets to a certain point and they get so devastated that I failed. But I've come to a point where I weigh it and not be like mom and dad or something went wrong, because the same mom and dad, if they had dedicated all their time and we're not working to bring in stuff, the same kid will come back and say, oh, my friends have this and I don't. So we just have to strike that balance. So now we come back to this conversation again. Which one is better, the modern or the traditional?
Right.
Where there's a balance, where at a certain point in time, there's a parent at home.
Yeah.
Or if dad is working so much, mom works less, or vice versa. But it all boils down to what we've come to want, our needs.
Yeah.
We want unnecessary things. And social media is pushing us there as well.
Yeah.
Right,
Because they kids today see all of this on there. And you, when you hear a kid say what they want for their birthday, I get kind of like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you guys believe in feminism?
No.
Do you believe in?
Well, what is feminism? Let me
I
ask.
know. Tell me what feminism is first.
I
because-
mean, you know, with what is happening right now on social media, right? You have a whole lot of females out here now calling themselves feminists, right? They fighting for whatever. I'm trying to figure out what they are fighting for. Most of them, the reason why they are feminists is they want to fight for equal rights. And so sometimes I keep asking myself, like, what equal rights
that's what
are
I
you
want to
fighting
ask.
for?
Yeah.
And some of them are saying that, well, we are fighting equal right to have equal pay in the household and stuff like that. You see, and especially when it comes to men in general, or like men that consider themselves traditional men, they don't believe in that equal right thing in the household. They don't believe in a feminist in their house, because when you're a feminist, you can be with a man.
Yeah.
Because masculine men wants women to be feminine. You have to be a woman.
100%.
And so if you don't come over there to the house and then rub shoulders with them, it's not going to work. And so that brings me to the question that I want to ask. Back in the days, right? I don't know what year that I want to bring this to, but I'm sure you guys will get a point. Women were home.
Okay.
Women were not working, right? Like stay at home mothers and sisters and, whatever. And men are the only, going to work and, bringing the income and taking care of the household and, and stuff like that. Things have changed now, right? And now women are now going back to school. Women now have the opportunity to do something for themselves. Women now have the opportunity to take leadership roles and in the corporate world, right?
Yeah.
Women are taking over even in the entertainment space.
Right.
And women are now being given the opportunity to take part in the sports industry, right? So it's like in most industries, women now have the opportunity to participate in those given areas. So do you guys think that is the reason why now a lot of women have now become feminists? Because now we have the same opportunity as you guys. We can now rub shoulders. Now we want like equal right. Whatever that you giving to the men, we want the same thing too as women.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think that maybe there was something that was lost along the way with that. Because when women ask for equal rights, I don't think that women ask for equal rights to disrespect men or to belittle men. Okay? Because, I mean, in the past, you're a woman. I'm a woman. She's a woman. Imagine that we're doing the same job. And sometimes women are even doing the jobs better than the men. And you're getting paid less than the man. No, I'm not asking to get paid more than a man so I can make a man feel like
less of himself, right?
No, it all comes down to the same thing that we're talking about. What is the goal? It's just doing what is right to a human being.
Okay.
That you're a man, you're a woman, you're working, you get what you deserve. I mean, there's some construction jobs that are too tough for a woman to do. If a man is doing it, he should earn what he should earn.
100%.
But as a woman, I'm not asking to earn more than a man to be disrespectful to him, which Shola did say. There's some women who get a little cocky when they make a lot of money. So I can understand where somebody will come out and say that she thinks that she's rubbing shoulders with them. But we didn't ask for equal equality or equal rights for us to feel like we're better than them or we will disrespect them. No, it was just to be on the fair side, to give us what is right and what is fair for us.
So I believe that if the feminist idea started and ended with that, then it's a beautiful movement. But realistically speaking, some women, I think, took it to the extreme. And that is where the problem is. Because rightfully so, male or female, if I'm working the same job as my co-worker or co-partner, the same exact job, why am I getting paid $3? He or she is getting paid 10. For anybody that has hands to work, it doesn't make sense.
No.
Now, the reason why I think some women have taken it to the extreme is because you're not respecting these men. And that's just the honest truth.
Right.
You come home and look, there are even some stories, whether you watch it in a movie or even realistically speaking, where maybe the man was up at one point, something happened, and now she has to start working. Now you treat him as if he doesn't even have flesh on his body anymore. He's just an animal or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Just because you're bringing money into the home.
Yeah.
For me, that has nothing to do with anything other than you just have a very bad character.
Yes, that's
You
that
know,
person's character.
And I think that is what, let me say, put a plague or like a bad connotation on feminism in general, because
Okay.
the women that were trying to carry this movement, no offense to you guys,
We love you.
you know, did not have the best character. And that's just the truth. And again, it just goes back to the selfishness and what is the motive behind everything.
Okay.
Are you fighting for equal rights because of the reality you're not getting paid much more, or you don't have that same respect? Or are you fighting to be a feminist because, I don't even know, because I'm not one, so I don't know the mind of a feminist, but
You don't know what they are fighting for,
I don't know
huh?
what they're fighting for.
So when you, but also sometimes you also have to see from the flip side is that when a person has been, and it's not in all situations, but when a person has been abused for a long time and they get to the top, it's like now they have the power to do whatever. So sometimes I see that some women were suppressed for so long,
And
so now they have
They're
the
out. They're out.
But then the bubble that I like to bust all the time when there is an explanation or a reason for why you behaved a certain type of way or switched up.
I'm
or
not
whatever.
justifying it.
No, not you. No. We're talking about the feminists here, right? Is at the end of the day, once you become whatever position you have, and now your character, all things now are flawed. What makes you different from the masculine man that had the CEO position that was doing the same thing to you or the next
Right.
person?
Right.
At the end of the day, character is the biggest thing. And to be very honest, that is what takes you far, and that is what helps you maintain
Right.
your position. If you get to the top and you're rotten inside, at the end of the day, now you no longer have a right, in my opinion, to even advocate for the next woman that's looking for a high position or looking for equality, because you're no different from the man that, either, downplayed your position or didn't give you that respect. The only reason why men at some point were even able to do that or started doing that back in the day and some till today is because them to their hearts or their character was rotten, right or wrong. What's the difference now between you and the next man?
social. I'll tell you what the difference is. So I have an uncle who always puts it very simple. If you want to know a person's true character,
Yeah.
give them money and power. So because when you're poor or when you're down there, we never know the true character.
Yeah.
So truly, if a person has gotten up there and they're behaving like that, it's not because it's who they are that is really coming out.
Yeah.
So that's what's tarnishing whatever good image that movement should have brought out.
Yeah.
So it's truly not about the situation, but it's truly about that individual's real character that is
Yeah.
coming out because now they have money and power.
Right. And I think for me, then, again, I don't know too much about the feminist movement, but I think that is, I guess the question that I would want to throw out to anyone that continues to carry, the whole feminist thing. At the end of the day, are we still fighting for equality for the right reasons? And then if we are, who are the ones that are fighting for it You get what I say? What is inside of you? What character is inside of you? Because to be honest, at the end of the day, that will determine how far this movement goes and if it's even going to be determined successful or not.
Okay. But do you guys think a woman can be a feminist and be submissive at the same time?
Yes, I think so.
It's possible?
Yeah, I think so.
What is the percentage?
I don't know. I haven't done a study yet, so I wouldn't base it on that.
You know, a lot of men will say, "Oh, hell no."
So
It's
when
like
we're saying a feminist and
submissive,
submissive,
to
so wait, a
to your-
feminist
to your-
as in like she's independent. Is that what we like when we say feminist? Are we thinking an independent woman?
But Shola, hold on before you move forward on that.
So married. So are we saying
So
that
hold
you
on,
can
hold
be
on.
married and be a feminist?
Hold on, let me just go
Because
back
then
to
the
this.
question is like,
I think for me, I'm trying to think. Okay, what is a feminist woman in this question?
That's it.
If that makes sense, yeah.
And then also, what does the man define as submissive?
That too, because for me, if we're tying feminism in this question to just independence and being, a high class woman and all that, then I think that you can be a working class woman and be submissive. Yes.
Okay.
Now, if we're talking about feminist as far as the section of women that we talk about that generally don't have respect, no.
That wouldn't be possible.
It's not in you. It's not who you are. So
I think I could agree to that.
yeah.
goodness.
And just going to the whole idea of what does submission even look like. Me personally, I think submission has its own definition.
Yes.
The healthy definition. But then you have some men that make it subjective to whatever it is that they deem to be submissive. But I do think that you can be an independent working class lady and definitely submit to your husband and your household.
Do you also believe that?
Yes, I believe that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying this. You guys?
Yes.
I have a trivia question for you guys.
Oh yeah, bring the bangers.
Bring it on.
We need
I just
that.
want you guys to laugh a little bit.
Okay, bring it.
If you guys were a ghost,
If I was a ghost. Yes. Okay.
how would you hunt people?
I think I would be the most goofy ghost ever. I swear.
How would you hunt people?
I was scared the living daylight out of people.
Every chance that I get,
Yes.
and especially if you're a man that I've dated before or something like that, I want
hunt
you.
them?
Oh my gosh, I'm going to hunt you.
Especially the ones that hurt you.
Yes. Oh my, I will be in your room. I will write stuff on the wall. I will whisper all types of things, and
Yes.
you'll run, and I will follow you where
Everywhere.
you go. I go.
If I were a ghost, then all the witches in my household, all the witches in my father's house, all the witches in my mother's house.
Yeah.
Oh man, let me tell you, I'll be hunting these people.
How do you know there are witches in your father and mother's house?
There has to be a witch in my mother and my father's house. I'm from Africa, okay? There has to be a witch somewhere. Somewhere.
Make sure they're not
Who
watching
knows?
you. Make sure they're not watching you.
So that's
watch
why.
us,
See,
oh.
if I were a ghost, then I would blind them. Like everybody go blind.
Right? No, to be honest.
You ain't gotta
one by
see me
one.
no more.
Right. One by one. But then if they're witches, they'll probably see you.
But if I'm a ghost, don't I have more power over the witches?
Witches,
'Cause
they
I'm a
see in the
spirit.
spirits now.
So I'm a spirit. They're human beings,
But they see in the spirit, don't they?
but they operate through a spirit.
But are ghosts,
I am the spirit.
Are ghosts even scary?
I've never seen a ghost before.
Me
I
neither.
mean, I don't want to see one. It's okay.
Have you seen one?
I don't.
You see, that's your African side coming out there.
But you guys don't think ghosts exist?
That's a good one. I don't know. Because that.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know,
can't say they don't
yeah.
exist because have you ever had like that feeling that you're at home and you're doing something and you feel like somebody's passed and you turn around and nobody's around?
Yeah, but
Have
then
you
would
had
that
that
be a ghost that was a human, or like they would say like that's a familiar spirit or a demon or
Right.
whatever?
Oh, okay.
You know?
So for me, I used to have these this thingy that smells so good,
Incense, yeah.
And there was one time, like in the midnight, I put on the incense in my room, and oh my God, the room became so cold.
Really?
Like, that was like 2019. The room became so light. That was like in the middle, like around like 1 a.m.
Whoa, that's scary.
Yeah.
Yes. I put on the the incense, that like the incense like was burning, and then all of a sudden the room became so cold and the room felt so heavy. And I knew that some motherfucker was in that room. I just couldn't figure out which one.
So did you turn it off?
I just didn't just turn it off. I took one pillow out of that room, went to my sister's room, and slept next to her till the next morning. Because I just can't figure out what the heck is happening in my room.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a ghost.
I don't know what that is.
I wouldn't know. I don't know.
You know, I woke up the next morning, I was telling my sister, my uncle, and everybody was like just making fun of me. Everybody was making fun of me. Like,
I mean, it could be anything, to be honest.
Yeah, and I know that also I've heard people say that you have to be very careful burning incense.
Because
I heard that they say that if you don't know the right incense to burn, you may be attracting something you shouldn't be attracting.
Oh man, let me tell you. So probably that night I probably attracted something that I'm not supposed to be seeing, 'cause that room was too cold and I just don't know where that was coming from.
Oh wow.
You sure your air condition wasn't just wonky?
No, because I went to my sister's room. That temperature was okay. It was just my room. Somebody came in there. I just can't figure out who that person.
Oh wow. Oh no. Well, we glad you're okay.
Well, yeah.
Right.
Okay, guys. I mean, I hope you enjoyed this show. Again, today we just wanted to have, girls talk as usual. And, I keep saying, do not forget to subscribe. We need the numbers to grow this channel. And we always want to make sure that we have loyal fan base, okay? Loyal viewers, where we bring you guys, every week we are bringing you guys something, feeding you guys with one topic to the other, feeding you guys. And that is the promise I made you guys from episode 1. And so, thank you for watching. And thank you, my beautiful guests.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. And my name is Dion. And again, thank you for watching the Diaspora Moment podcast.
Yay.
And I will see you again next time. Bye.
This is Diaspora Moments by Dion London.